Cloudy crew, and welcome if you're new here. I'm hoping it was worth the 20 minutes it took me to draw those. Recently I received an email that really caught my eye from my spam box, and sadly, no, it was not the $11 million that Lila Lucas was offering to give me. It was from a little company called Grabie who wanted to reach out and see if they could work with me. So today we're going to be trying out the solid watercolor palette Georgian brand from Grabie. I will say that while Grabie sent this to me, I do try to remain as unbiased as possible, so I'm going to be letting you know everything I love about this palette and everything that I don't love about it. Let's talk about everything that actually comes in this palette kit. This kit comes with 48 color options, 36 of those are regular watercolors and 12 are metallic colors. It also comes with a nylon brush pen, a regular paintbrush, one pencil, a pencil sharpener, an eraser, a sponge, and 8 sheets of paper. Also, it includes a color swatch card. I really love the packaging. I think it's really pretty with the blue and the pink and the purple. I think it just really appeals to my eye. So I really like the color of the tin, and speaking of a tin, it is metal. It is a metal palette kit. It's not plastic like any of the other ones I've had, so I'm really glad that it is metal because it's sturdy and it will protect all the watercolors. On the back, it does say that it is small and lightweight. However, this thing is kind of a big honkin' size, so it is kind of large. It's definitely not a travel palette, but it's gonna be one that you would want to use at home a lot more. One of the first problems I did notice was that this palette doesn't include any light fast or pigment information. This tells me that it's probably not used for professionals. It's probably more like a student grade palette or one for beginners. And I do think that this is a good palette option for a student grade level. The amount of colors offered makes it really easy for those who don't do as well with color theory because there's a lot of colors to pick from and a lot of colors that are pre-mixed. So you're not going to have to worry about knowing how to mix a certain type of orange if you don't know how to mix it. It's already going to be there for you with a couple of different options. As a student or a beginner, it's a lot less intimidating using these paints because of the fact that they're not as expensive. So if you mess up the paint, it's really easy to replace because it's not $200. Moving on to the color options, I do think that the color options are very good. There's a really wide variety just because it is a 48 pack. Now, take my numbers here with a grain of salt because of the fact that some of these colors will be labeled blue but lean more green, or they'll be labeled orange and lean more red. So these numbers aren't exact, but it gives you an idea of the variety of colors here. There's about 6 blues, 10 or so greens, 6 yellows, 2 oranges, 7 reds, 4 purples, 5 browns, and it also has white, gray, and black. I did end up rearranging the colors once I first got them because they weren't in order with the swatch sheet, and it was pretty easy to do this because you just find which colors line up on either end and compare it to the swatch sheet and just move it down a row. I do wish that it would have already been this way, but it's really not that hard to do. And when you're painting, I definitely recommend that you look at the swatch sheet and use the swatch sheet because of the fact that a lot of the darker colors look very, very similar and they will not be the same at all. This goes for the blues and this definitely goes for the browns. As far as pigment quality goes, there are a few that are a little bit chalkier and look like they might have white pigment in them. And of these, I would say it was the gray, aqua, light purple, and one that was labeled skin tone that's really a peach. When it comes to the colored names, I'm pretty sure that they're actually rough translations, as I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, I believe that a lot of the packaging is labeled with Chinese. For instance, I have 2 ultramarine blues that are not actually the same color. Rose red is actually spelled wrong, and once again, skin color would not be labeled skin color if you bought it from anywhere else. It's really a peach. Companies don't really label peach skin color anymore. So what do I like and dislike about this set? I really like the color options and everything that's included. I think it is a great starter kit or a student kit because it comes with everything that you need to start except for the water. I think even though there's a few chalkier colors, the majority of them work really well, and it's just because they're lighter colors that are intentionally made light. You could definitely not use those and use the other colors to make later versions using more water. And speaking of the colors are all super duper vibrant, especially the red and the purples and the pinks. Those are all super beautiful colors, and they're the most vibrant ones that I've ever seen with my watercolors. The metallics are also pretty good. You definitely want to add more water and then let them set for a little bit before you use them. That way it really maximizes the actual metallic shimmer in them, but if you use them right, they look wonderful. As far as things I didn't like, I really wish some of the color names were updated, like the duplicates, the misspellings, and the skin color one that's really peach. And I also really wish that they came in the order that was the same on the swatch sheet as in the palette, so that you don't have to move them around to match them with the swatch sheet. Overall, I do really like this palette. I think it looks really good. I think most of the colors are really great, and it's easy to use. Who do I recommend this palette for? Students and beginners. It's a really easy palette to use. It comes with everything that you're gonna need, including paper. Let's talk about price really quick. I normally use the Brie Reese watercolor palettes that are labeled professional watercolors. They have two different palettes that I use, one of which is a 12-pack of metallics and one of which is a 12-pack of original regular watercolors. The original watercolors cost about $20. The metallics cost about $24. They don't have any labels for how light fast these pigments are or any of the pigment information either. And on top of that, they come in a plastic container. It's not metal. So if you bought both of the Brie Reese sets, you would end up having 24 colors, half of those being normal, half of those being metallic, but it would cost you $44 before tax and shipping. Meanwhile, the Giorgione palette comes with 48 colors, and it's about $40 total, without any discounts or anything. So with that in mind, with colors in mind, with metallics in mind, with how those pigments work in mind, I do think that the Giorgione palette is worth the price. And at the time that I'm recording this, it's actually been knocked down to 50% off from Grabie. So it's actually $19.99 on their website. If you use code KALES10 at checkout, you can get 10% off store-wide. On top of that, if there are 6 orders made using that code, Grabie's gonna be willing to sponsor a giveaway for us. A big thanks to Grabie for sending these to me. They were kind of the first company that's ever offered to send me stuff instead of me emailing them, so that was super cool. And aside from all that, what do we think about the little people animation drawings on the screen? I had to draw those by hand, and so far I only have 3, but I do like the idea of having like a little Kales cartoon pop up whenever I'm not on screen. That way you still get kind of like the human aspect of it, and I think it's really cute. So do we like it? Do we not like it? Let me know in the comments. Make sure you like the video if you did like it. Make sure you subscribe if you want to see more, and I hope you have a great week. I will see you later. Bye.